afternoon, everyone. I would like to give you a short presentation on the activities that the World Bank is undertaking on the energy sector, in particular in the South Caucasus. We believe that the South Caucasus, the three countries, have potential in electricity, particularly renewable electricity, which, as you know, is environmentally friendly. This should lead to significant trade across borders. We estimate that the region as a whole has a potential of 9 terawatt hours of power that can be traded across the different countries, but needs significant investment in the development of various types of infrastructure. The potential to develop this will depend, of course, on the availability of the market for trade in electricity, and of course the output in terms of prices as a result of the construction of hydropower and extent transmission lines. We believe that the trade in electricity, renewable electricity generated from the South Caucasus, would primarily target Turkey and then onwards to Southeast Europe. Georgia in particular has a large unused potential, which we believe is in the region of 40 terawatt hours. About 20% of this has already been developed. Another 5% is in the process of being constructed, and therefore, as you can see, maybe 75% of the potential for hydropower in Georgia remains untapped. If all of this was developed over the next 5 to 10 years, we believe there's significant trade in electricity that is available from Georgia, particularly in the summer months when demand within the region is less, but at the same time demand in Turkey is highest during the summer months. To develop hydro potential and fully benefit from the regional power trade, sizable investments will be needed. We estimate this would be close to 2 billion or more. In terms of GDP, this is about 1.5 to 2.5% of GDP per year. I should say 2 billion is needed over the next 10 years just to produce electricity that can be used to increase the export trade from Georgia to the region. Clearly, the government of Georgia would not be able to finance this without significant reduction of its own budget to other sectors. That remains an unviable situation. Therefore, we see here significant potential for the private sector to work with the public sector in a PPP or public-private partnership arrangement in order to put forward the kind of financing that would be needed. Public debt, as many of you know, is quite a significant issue in a lot of countries, and therefore for Georgia to maintain prudent fiscal management, it has to reduce the level of debt that the state has. In other words, we would very much encourage private sector participation in order to realize these critical investments. To attract this private sector investment, Georgia has already done quite a lot. Georgia in particular has a very good business environment, one that has attracted a lot of FDI or foreign direct investments into the country, but there is still more needed to make the energy sector more attractive in Georgia. In particular, we need more transmission infrastructure, both transmission lines and substations. We also believe there is a need to further strengthen the regulatory environment, in particular the sharing, power sharing arrangements that would allow, particularly in the transmission sector, that would allow various hydropower stations to be able to evacuate what they produce to Turkey or other parts of Europe. Secondly, we believe there is a need for at least a bilateral agreement, power trade agreement between Georgia and Turkey that would allow some form of um, assurance to the private sector that whatever they produce in Georgia can and will be purchased and traded in Turkey. This would be a short term solution, but in the long term, we believe that a much more substantial regional trade agreement in power is needed between the South Caucasus countries, Turkey, and maybe further still to the southeast of Europe. The World Bank will continue to support Georgia in this direction. We have recently approved a $60 million loan to Georgia for the construction of a power transmission line to upgrade the transition line between Helsinki to Batumi and onwards to Turkey border. This will upgrade the power to 500 kilovolts, and we also have been working jointly with our sister organization, the International Finance Corporation, IFC, with the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, EBRD, and also with the Asian Development Bank, ADB, to provide financing for a new 185 megawatt power station at Shukaive. The government and the World Bank have been discussing a framework for improving the legal framework for public private partnerships. This, we believe, is needed in Georgia in order to streamline the existing concession legal framework, which is probably not sufficient for large investments in Georgia. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, I will stop here, but the message from the World Bank is we are very committed to ensuring that Georgia will realize its energy potential, particularly hydropower, which is not only environmentally friendly, but is also very cost effective for the country and the region. Thank you.